My name is Cody Stokes, and founder of Dive Bomb back in early 2000s, officially 2011, but started toying with the idea 2009. But from St. Louis, Missouri, and right now I'm 37 years old. Predominantly grew up with my mother, and then I actually started shooting skeet with my dad and grandpa about halfway through high school, and we shot in leagues Wednesday and Saturday, and that's kind of where the outdoor stuff, or hunting specifically, kind of spawned from, was the shooting sports aspect of things. So I was always into fishing, but the hunting thing kind of came a little later in my life. My mother had a boyfriend, for lack of better words, when I was in middle school, who had a duck club in St. Charles County, which is not too far from here. And on weather days, he would come and pull me out of school early and go up and hunt. And sometimes my grandpa would go, my mother's father, he would go. And I was just a young guy in the blind, learning kind of the ropes, and I saw the camaraderie and the hunting and gun aspect to it, and I thought it was awesome. But you know, the duck hunting particularly is pretty tough around here, and you know, especially when you're under 16, you can't drive to public, and if your family doesn't own a farm or a duck club, it's almost impossible to hunt. So I was lucky to see it at a fairly young age here without having a family that was into it. I went to school at Mizzou, which is in Columbia, Missouri, and shortly after Mizzou came back here and started working and was hunting some fields not too far from the warehouse here, actually, and watched geese fly over, and were pretty unsuccessful in decoying them. So went to a park and I took some pictures of geese, put them on coroplast, and created the first silhouette by Dive Bomb before Dive Bomb was even created. So that was probably 2009. And then they worked, got to a point where I wanted to produce them. So I found a production partner and ran 500 dozen silhouettes, sold them on Craigslist, and that's how this all began, honestly. So it wasn't an overnight success, and it's kind of been a long road, but it's been a dream come true. This is the first product ever made, and there's a little tiny Dive Bomb logo down here. This was it. This was before V2, the original silhouette. And shortcomings, this little tail was a pain. The connection of the chest to neck was a big change, but this is it. If you guys out there were one of our original customers, this is what you'd received: an unmarked brown cardboard box. I was spray painting the logo with a stencil in my backyard, and was shipping them out. So we ran 500 dozen silhouettes, and they sold really well. This is kind of a good life lesson as well, but sold 500 dozen, they sold extremely well, and then doubled down, and we ran 1,000 dozen silhouettes. And when I received the 1,000 dozen, I almost broke into tears, because they weren't up to quality. Some things had changed, basically, that weren't specified, which creates a necessity for a spec sheet. But things had changed that I never expected changing, and the second order, 1,000 dozen, basically we could not sell. So right then and there, I thought this whole endeavor was over. I got some good advice from my dad, and said, if they sold at this quality before, they'll sell at that quality again. So doubled down, went and made appropriate changes. Enter V2, which has been a staple of this brand for over 10 years now, and made them right and improved them, and they sold very, very well.
So we're here with Dive Bomb Industries, and these are their V2 Canada silhouettes. They come in a dozen per box.
We were direct-to-consumer before direct-to-consumer was really even a thing. We were on the leading edge of kind of like the plug-and-play websites, or we even predated it. I built a website on Dreamweaver software, which is in the Adobe suite if you want to get geeky with it. and started selling them online through this Adobe suite. We would advertise on Craigslist, and this is like two years into the whole endeavor. But we were direct to consumer, so the idea was to get the product to the customer, without with as little markup as humanly possible. And to do that is obviously to cut out a retailer and basically be manufacturer direct to consumer via online. So that was really number one. I mean, I think the comparable silhouettes at the time, there was only one brand making them, and they were roughly 200 plus dozen in a different design. Almost in its entirety, other than the two-sided printing aspect of it. But we were able to offer a killer silhouette, literally killer silhouette at probably, I think right out of the bat, a quarter of what the competitor was selling it. So immediately, from a product standpoint, is a core value of ours. And then the customer service aspect of things,
What fowl do you got, dude?
Dude, unreal. Just all kind of mixed bag. You got some lessers, some snows, pennies, mallards. Everything. Specs, dude, it's unbelievable.
My name is Kyle Doherty, and I am the customer service manager at Dive Bomb. Since its inception, Dive Bomb has always had exceptional customer service. From when Cody first started it, and then Asher jumping in, helping out to where we're at now. We've set that precedent that we're always going to take care of our customers. No matter how big we get, we're always going to be easily accessible to any problems or issues you may have. And I think that in any industry, that's something that's being lost now, is that accessibility, and Dive Bomb has that, and we plan to always have that.
When we started out, we had a handful of customers. I mean, first customer I could probably look up if we wanted to, but the first customer is just as important as our millionth customer, and we've always had an open line of communication between our customer and customer service department. And you ought to be able to call up here, I would say, after hours, and probably catch someone if they're still here or if their phone rings, just because they actually care about what they're doing. And then we've got other outlets for customer service, which have kind of evolved with the times. It's no longer just a telephone line. We've got our email, we've got texts, and then we've got all the social media platforms that we've spent a bunch of time and energy and money, providing the best service, whether it's content or customer service, to our customer base. So this business was fairly established, and then we started getting into social media through my now fiance Blair, and we got into Instagram. She managed that for a minute, and I had one other manager for a brief second, and then our first official employee, was Asher Tolliver, and he and I have always had a very great relationship. He's probably self-starter. He was an MLB pitcher for several years. That was his career for, I think, up until about 32.
So by the end of the Cleveland trip, he might.
We've all got a job to do, and we've all got the same goal in mind. But we're all, everybody's on the same page. We're all pushing to get better, to win as a team. And
I'm Asher Tolliver. I'm the Vice President and Director of Marketing for Dive Bomb Industries. So it's been, probably 10 years ago at this point. I was playing baseballs in the minor leagues. I was always looking for side hustles here and there, how to make some money, because you don't make very much money playing baseball in the minor leagues. And so the early days of Instagram, I started running some accounts for some businesses. Well, anyway, me and some of my friends in the off season, we're going to go freelance in Canada. We'll be in an Arkansas water duck hunter. I just had mostly mallard floaters, maybe a few other species, but I didn't own any field decoys. And I came across this company that made Canada goose silhouettes, and I was needing some, so I said, hey, what if I did a giveaway on this outdoor page I have for 5 dozen V2 Canadas in a bag? Would you be interested? He said, sure. So we, that was officially the first thing we ever did. Did a little giveaway, it went well, and just kind of kept in touch. I think we might have done a few more little agreements like that. And I don't remember the exact number of followers that Dive Bomb had on Instagram, but they were creeping up on a certain a number at the time. Blair, Cody's fiance, was running the socials, and I don't remember what the number was, but maybe they were 200-300 shy. And he said, "Hey, we're trying to get to this number. Will you want to do a giveaway? Help us." I said, "Man, just give me the account for a few days and I'll get you there." So, long story short, gave over the account. We got to that number, and he reached back out and said, "Hey, would you have any interest in running the social media account?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, let's do it." So we traded some more decoys, and did that for a little while, and he liked the way it went, and we were getting bigger and more customer service inquiries. And he said, "Hey, would you want to handle the emails that come through in customer service?" Sure. Maybe we can start making a little money here. So we worked out a deal, did that for a little while. And he said, "Hey, can we set up a phone line? You think people could call you and get suggestions on products and what they need to use and how they need to use them?" And yeah, sure, let's work something out. I'm in. Let's keep growing. And so we did that, a series of agreements. And it's weird, Cody, I had a lot of control over a lot of stuff, honestly, before I ever shook Cody's hand in person. And I think I had asked him about that one time. I said, "Man, I had a lot of power with Dive Bomb Industries, the ability, like if I was a bad person, I really could have hurt your business." I said, "Why did you trust me with so much?" And he said, "Man," he goes, every deal we ever did, from a dozen decoys to 5 dozen decoys to whatever it was," he said, "you always underpromised and over-delivered." And that really stuck with me. As we've grown with Dive Bomb, I've kind of taken that, actually stolen it from Cody, and tried to apply that to everything we do. If you can underpromise or just tell somebody what you're going to do and do it, and maybe even do it a little bit better than what they're expecting, I think you can leave a lasting impact on people, especially this day and age where a handshake doesn't necessarily mean what it did 20 years ago. So I kind of stole that from him, our mantra or motto, and just one little agreement after another, and just kept growing and growing. And it's just amazing to see where we are now. And Cody's he's been awesome to work for. He gives us a lot of creative freedom, and I think that's the coolest thing about Cody is we might not always make decisions or market products or do things a way maybe that he would, but he always trusts that every decision we're making the best, and we're making the best decision in the best interest of Dive Bomb Industries, which is really awesome for this marketing team, because it allows us to work with complete creative freedom and do whatever we see is in the best interest of Dive Bomb and the products that we're trying to push.
I think the main goal is finding a solution or bettering an existing solution to a product that obviously fits our genre, which would be outdoors, waterfowling, and anything that surrounds waterfowling to this point. I mean, we started with a silhouette, and now we're making a lot of lifestyle stuff and bags and accessories, all of which that should better the waterfowler. But finding a problem, creating a solution would basically be like concept to fruition. Whether it's hard goods, decoys or accessories, a gear line of things, we're always trying to adapt and improve pieces. But coming up with new and exciting things to keep our audience entertained, to keep the revenue stream going, to uphold an awesome brand that I think we've established, and hopefully fortifying ourselves as an innovator in the industry. That's kind of been a dream, to be more the innovator, not the imitator kind of thing.
My name is Thomas Dreyer. I'm the manager of product development here at Dive Bomb. Work on day-to-day developing new products, keeping products that we have right now current and up to date, and making updates to those as well. Everything from the silos, we do those, to blinds, chairs, any kind of boots. All the new stuff coming out pretty much comes through here. We got a team of guys that we work with. What separates us from a lot of other people on the market, I've seen some other companies, and I've seen their design teams, and not a lot of them are hunters. They're more people out there typing something in a computer. I hunt every day of the season, around here. Our team does, Cody does. So we're hunters designing the product, we're hunters using the product, and I think that just helps with the design process and the perspective of a hunter, somebody who goes out there and grinds and uses the product rather than maybe something that's thought of behind a desk.
Just seeing where we've come from, and that's a testament to Cody's leadership, and he's just his hunger for growth and to do great things in this industry. I mean, I don't think any of us that you've talked to during this thing, nobody I doubt would have expected to be where we are now, but I don't think any of us either would be surprised because of our leader. So honestly, I mean, people have seen me post stuff like in the Facebook forum and say, hey, if it's waterfowl related, eventually we're going to make it. Now I say that with a disclaimer. There's some things that we will never make, but realistically, like there's no limits, man. We are customer driven. And if our customers want it and they want Dive Bomb to make it, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna make it to the best of our ability with the resources that we have.
Hey guys, Cody with Dive Bomb. I'm here at headquarters. We're hosting the first annual Dive Bomb Squad Fest, June 11th and 12th here in Maryland Heights. Squad Fest, got dog contest rolling this morning, bag tournament rolling. People from all over the country here. We've overflowed the parking lot. Had to run to the bank already to get more change.
Squad Fest was born from the calling contest during COVID being canceled, and we thought it was kind of silly to cancel an outdoor event. COVID whole thing, in my opinion, was a little trumped up. But I was a lot of smoke and mirrors, in my opinion, and we said, you know what, if they're not going to do it, we're going to do it. So what's going to draw in people? We're going to have beer, we're going to have big cash payouts, and we're going to kind of show out. But we didn't expect the turnout to be what it was. Our first Squad Fest was 2 years ago here at the shop. We had some buses running from local hotel we had blocks at, and it wasn't before the doors opened. The line was, down the street. It was a blowout. It was insane. We realized we probably had to have Squad Fest 2, so we went to a larger pavilion, larger outdoor space, and we got a band and more food vendors, and it was a huge success.
So Squad Fest has grown every year. The first year, coming out of COVID, we didn't even know if we were going to be able to put it on, and it was like the first event where everybody got to go mask off, and it was just wildly successful. It was bigger than we could have possibly imagined. Last year, I'm really stressing out because we went to this bigger venue, and I was just worried. I'm waking up in the middle of the night with sweats. What if nobody shows up? Because the economy was so brutal. Gas prices were brutal. It was just the tough time, inflation, and people showed up, and people were excited about it. It was wildly successful. We had so many callers participate. The Retriever Combine was amazing. The food, the vendors, it was incredible. The whole event was incredible, and this year's going to be even better, and it's just going to keep growing. We filled this venue up for this year, so I don't know how much bigger it's going to be able to get. I imagine we can just rent out more space, but knowing Dive Bomb, we'll figure something out. If there's a demand for it to be bigger, we'll make it bigger. But every year, first year surpassed our expectations, the second year surpassed our expectations, and history repeats itself. I'm quite confident that the third year is going to surpass our expectations. So Squad Fest, just like everything else Dive Bomb's doing, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep finding ways to make it bigger. We're going to find ways to make it better. We're going to draw more people. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to interact. We're going to eat good food. We're going to drink cold beer. And it's just going to be a blast.
My ideal picture of Dive Bomb, a year, 10 years from now, is continued growth, continued improvement, and then I don't know if branching out from the waterfowl niche was ever my intended focus, but I don't want to say they'll reach a time where we'll outgrow waterfowl, but we've got some other things in the hopper. We've got some land management tools that we're working on developing. Whether or not they're under Dive Bomb is another deal, but a fishing company that you may know of, Flop, with a pretty innovative first product. But no, reinvesting in our people here, the new product development side of things, that seems to be where I spend a lot of time, and we're putting a lot of time and energy in development. We've doubled the size of this new product development team, software guys, branding and graphic guys that all work hand in hand to create more products and better products.
We have an incredible team, top to bottom. I mean, from engineering to customer service, graphic design, administration, operations, fulfillment, marketing, videography. I mean, it's just our team is strong. Like, I wouldn't trade any of these people for anybody in the world. Everybody works so hard. There's no egos. Everybody just puts everything aside and say, hey, let's do the best we can for Dive Bomb in whatever role you're in. And if everybody's pulling in the same direction, this thing's gonna go a long way. So man, I don't know what it's gonna look like in the future, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna keep growing. We've got some amazing stuff in the works. We have plans for amazing things, and there's no end in sight. We are so long-term oriented. We're not planning ahead just for 2024. We're looking ahead for 10, 15 years down the road and what this thing's gonna look like. So we're excited to have you guys along for the journey, and we're just gonna keep doing the best we can every single day for our customers and this team. And just very blessed to be in a position to be able to work with the people I do and to interact with our customers, because it's just been absolutely amazing.
Dive Bomb was a pipe dream, was something I thought I would pay off a trailer and some shells and a couple guns and maybe some hunting expenses with, and it's turned into something that is past my dreams, or this is basically a dream come true. So everyone that's been involved along the way, whether it's employees here or you customers out there, anyone that's purchased anything or contributed in a positive manner on any social media platform, I'm thankful and grateful. And then if there's anything you think we're falling short on or not up to snuff, reach out, and we'll see if we can take care of you or modify and adapt this company to the likes of everyone in the waterfowl world. So thank you for all the support along the way, and hopefully we can continue to service you in this industry for at least the rest of my life, hopefully longer. So thank you.
He is.
Hit that other one. You boys better kill him. Ready? Go. There we go.
Let's go.
Yeah. This is sweet.
I don't say this much, but blessed. I mean, this is awesome.